Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Task Human Talks. I'm your host and fellow wellness provider, Jamie Carroll, and I'm so excited about this conversation today. I have Saemone Griffin, who is a self healing coach, with me today. And we're going to talk all about crystals today, the nitty gritty on crystal healing. But first, I have to ask you, Simone, what is a self healing coach?
I like to call myself a self-healing coach because I give the client the tools to help themselves. I don't want to be the person that you feel you have to come to get that healing. I want you to discover the healing within yourself.
Oh, I love that. And so, what types of things are you helping people with when it comes to is it just anything or like what? Do you have any examples?
Anything, if you're looking to clear out blockages, I awesome with shadow work. I'm a full
Okay.
believer in shadow work, journaling, ways to help you find ways to self-care, doing self-care rituals,
Okay.
Reiki, anything that's kind of taking out the bad or replacing the negativity with some good.
I love it. Replacing negativity with good. Now, shadow work, I feel like, is a word that's used a lot these days. It's like everyone's working on their shadow work, shadow, shadow, shadow. But what does that mean? What is shadow work? Just for someone who has no idea.
It's facing the dark. We like to focus on the light, and the light is awesome. You know, it's a lot of good things happening in the light. You want to focus on that positivity, but sometimes you have to take a look at the dark side. And the dark side kind of helps you discover who you are as a whole. So that shadow work allows you to face those things that scare you or that make you feel small maybe, and help you turn it around to discover who you are as a whole and embrace yourself as a whole.
Okay, awesome. So not just looking at all the positive, light, fluffy aspects, but also going
Yeah.
deep and looking at those negative things, the things that nobody really wants to look at, I guess.
Right.
Okay, awesome. And I assume that crystals, of course, I really want to talk about crystals today, that crystals can help us with things like, like self-care, shadow work, all the things that you touch on. So what are crystals and what makes them such a powerful tool to use in healing?
Because crystals are literally a part of the earth, you know, we do rituals with fire. We burn things that don't matter to us anymore to get rid of them from our lives. Crystals are that earth energy. You know, they carry the vibrations of the earth. They're mined from caves and mountains. There's a beautiful cave in Mexico where a lot of amethyst is mined from, and
Okay.
it's work. They've been developing in those caves for centuries, so it has a lot of the ancient earth knowledge in there. We're a part of earth, so our frequencies match each other, and they're really cool because we see them as a whole. Like, I have one here, of course. We see it as a whole, and it's a little rock, you know, to your eye, but deep within it, there's a million atoms in here, and the way that the atoms form together is what makes that crystal special. Each one has their own formation and foundation, and their own vibration even. So when you match it with what you're looking for or what you're missing, it kind of reminds you, and it's a way to have a physical form of intention to remind you of what you're trying to do for yourself.
Okay, I love that. Physical form of intention. I've actually never heard it that way. So even though, like, even when we go to a crystal store or something like that, and those are still as powerful, right? Like even though they've been okay, okay, because I know
Now
it's like
you can have,
finding it directly from the earth. You know what I mean? We're finding it in a
right.
store, and I always think of like, has that crystal or stone or whatever been like processed or stripped away of anything? And I don't even know if you know the answer to that.
Well, with the polished ones, the way I was talked to about those, because they have to go through that process of smoothing them out and making them round or a certain shape, they do lose a bit of their touch. You
Okay.
know, it has been stripped away a
Okay.
little bit, but all about intention. So if you grab one for like a rose quartz and you're like, I want this to help me find that love within myself again, because that's what you bought it for, that's what it's going to help you with.
Okay.
Even though it may not have that full power in that polished form, it's still there to help with that specific intention.
Okay. I love that. And so when we go to a store, so I guess a raw crystal, because I've always seen that. Like when I go to a crystal store, it'll say raw or just the other thing. It doesn't necessarily say polished. So polished may lose a
Mhm.
little bit of that, but in the raw form, it would keep a little bit more of that natural earth element and earth energy.
Yes.
Okay.
My favorite thing to do with crystals is meditate. And the first time I really felt a crystal, I was meditating with a pink tourmaline. And that one is good for your heart, for love, for self love. And I had it on my legs. I was sitting crisscross and I felt like tingles from it.
Oh, wow.
And I've never felt that from a polished. I started with polished crystals. And
Okay.
when I felt that tingle from the raw one, I was like, this is why they say go raw. This is why you can
Yeah.
feel it.
Wow. Okay. Okay, awesome. And so all these crystals have different, like, it's like the way the atoms are formed helps. Okay, I'm going to butcher this. I'm trying to say it correctly. So the way like the atoms are formed makes the crystal or makes that piece of stone, and that's good for a particular healing thing, like anxiety, fear, love.
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So what is, I feel like right now with things going on still in the world, there's a lot of uncertainty. And even like with things, opening back up, there's a lot of uncertainty going back out into, things have just changed so much. And I feel like we kind of
Yeah.
our sense of things. What's a good stone for like anxiety, for example?
I would say the first good one would be a clear quartz. It's
Okay.
the mother of all stones. It's see-through. It's almost like a piece of glass. And
Okay.
it matches vibrations of what you need. So that one I will start off with. Um, Amethyst, it's good with your intuition, helping you know what you need to navigate
Mhm.
through. You know,
Okay.
citrine, rose quartz, just connecting to that heart and kind of going within and sticking to what you know is best for you, kind of
Yeah.
blocking out the world.
Okay. I love that. What about immune system? Is there one that like is good for immune function?
Immune. I want to say citrine,
Okay.
citrine,
Okay.
because a lot of the crystals have carbon makeups and
Yeah.
different minerals within them as well. So a lot of them
Okay.
do help with that, especially if you can do kind of a skin to skin contact. I know there's
Okay.
a lot of memes that are around that are saying the spiritual girls have them and keep the crystals in their bra, and
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm, I'm kind of that person. Just
Okay.
having that skin to skin contact, you can feel it there on you. You know that you have it, so it keeps your mind going. Of no, my intention today is to be cool. I'm cultivating peace. It keeps it in the front of your mind.
Okay, that actually makes me think of this too. So, if you have someone brand new to walking into a crystal shop, how do they pick out the right crystal for themselves? Like, how do they know what's going to be the best one for them?
You can always research, but I believe the best way to find a crystal is to go into a shop and just walk around. You
Okay.
just walk around, whatever catches your eye, you look at it and you can't keep your eyes off of it, or you just feel like, oh, I need to hold this crystal, or what is this? This is
Hmm.
beautiful. Pick that crystal up and just walk around the store with it, look at other
Okay.
crystals, see what else they have, and just kind of pay attention to how it makes you feel. That's
Yeah.
usually the crystal that you need.
Okay. I love that. I actually had a friend tell me this because I was new to crystals a couple years ago and we went into a store together. And that's what she told me too. she said, don't even read what the crystal is about. Because a lot of times when you walk into a store, you'll see that, it'll have like a little note card or something right there
Mhm.
with what the crystal is. And she said, don't even read that till after. Like if you
That's
really
right.
resonate with the crystal and you're walking around the store, she said the same thing, like hold it, walk around. And then if you're like, this is the one, I really feel connected, I'm going to get this one. And then look to see what it is. What is it that you are needing? You know?
Yeah. You'll never be guided wrong.
I
Never.
know. Oh my gosh, I love it. So once you go to the store, so now we've got our crystals. We've got new crystals. Then what do we do with them once we bring them home?
You want
What's
to
something
cleanse
you do?
them.
Okay. All right. So cleansing a crystal. How do you cleanse a crystal?
Now you do want to be careful of the full safe. A good way to do it without worries is sage. You can
Okay.
always sage it. Just kind of hold your sage bundle. Palo Santo too. Just hold
Okay.
your sage with Palo Santo, hold the crystal above it, and just let the
Okay.
smoke go up. Once the smoke is, the smoke would go different directions, but once you
Right.
notice the smoke kind of engulf it, that's when it's clear of its negative energy or whatever it carried home from the store.
Yeah.
Some
Explain that
crystals
a little
you can
more. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
oh, some you can put in salt water. Salt water is another way to cleanse, but not all crystals can go into water. Like
Mm.
selenite, that one will dissolve. Selenite is an
Oh,
awesome
okay.
crystal. It can cleanse other crystals as well. It doesn't hold
Okay.
on to any bad energy,
Okay.
but in water, it'll dissolve. The water
Okay.
is its
Interesting.
kryptonite.
Okay. I've also heard a way to cleanse as well is using rice, like putting your crystals in rice. Is that something?
Yeah, that's a
Okay.
good one too.
Okay, awesome. And my favorite is charging them every month under a new or under a full moon.
Yes, that is powerful. I will have them lined up in my windowsill just so
Okay.
they can get that little bit of energy to come on them. Yes, that's awesome too.
So why are we cleansing the crystals? You said it was just because from like they different people in the store, I guess, just different energies are put on the crystals and
Yeah.
you want to clear them of those energies.
Yeah, someone else may have been called to that crystal. You don't know why they were called, and that
Right.
energy may have resonated with them, but for some reason they didn't take it. So their energy
Okay.
is still there. That crystal connected with them. Maybe it was ready to work with them, but you want to just kind of let that energy go, keep it clear, and then bring your own in.
Okay, awesome. I love that. And so, okay, so now we've cleared the crystals and cleansed them and done all of the loving things to get rid of all those energies. What do we do next with our
My
crystals?
favorite is to meditate. I I will go to a crystal store and I'm just looking around, maybe killing time. I find something and I can't take my eyes off of it. I take it home, then I read about it and I see, oh,
Okay.
okay, this is why I resonated with it. So then I try to meditate and visualize. So
Okay.
say it's I've been called to a lot of crystals for the heart lately. So
Okay.
I'll kind of see, what is my heart telling me? Why do I
Okay.
need this crystal? So I'll sit with it. Sometimes if I'm just reading, I'll keep it near me because that vibrational energy is still, bouncing off of me. I'm bouncing off of it. So we're
Okay.
still on the
Yeah.
same wavelength. So even just having it in your presence works,
Okay.
and we go out in the world and, everything is opening back up. You may be a little nervous, even just having it in your pocket, just
Okay.
having it near you, kind of keeps you aware and keeps you calm. But I love to meditate with my crystals. I do have some I wear as jewelry too, but I
Okay.
like to have it on me and have that moment to kind of relax and let it tell me what, you know, give me that teaching I need from it.
I love it. And crystals are good for traveling too, right? Like keeping in your car some and like even if you're
Yes.
flying somewhere, just having that additional energetic support.
Yes. I definitely keep one when I go on planes, when I'm even in my purse. I have one I keep in my purse just in case I
Okay.
forget to put it specifically in my
Yeah,
bags. I
that's a
don't
good
go
idea.
without.
Yeah, just keep them in different spaces. Like if you carry a backpack, keep one in your backpack, keep one in your car, keep one by your bed. Yeah, I
And
love
there's
it.
one called pyrite. Kind of the nickname is Fool's Gold. It looks like a cluster of gold. It's beautiful. That one's said to help with business and bringing in abundance. I keep that one in my office, just in my office space, just so when I come in there, that's the energy that I'm cultivating in that space.
I love it. Okay, I'm writing this down because I'm like, I need to get this stone. I need to get this crystal. I'm going to look for one. I absolutely love that. Keeping it on your desk. Another thing too, I've been playing around with is there's crystals and stones that can also like negate like the radiation and from like your television and computer and stuff like that too.
Yes.
So I can't remember the name of the ones that I have. Malachite, I think is
The green one?
no, maybe it's not. It's like a coal looking.
Oh, it may be tourmaline, black tourmaline or
Maybe,
black
yeah.
obsidian.
It's one of those, but I keep it like underneath my TV. So it
That's
can
a
like,
good one.
yeah. And I love that you said just meditating on them. A lot of times I think we're used to just having to do so much stuff. So a
Yeah.
question I'll get a lot is like, what do I do with my crystal now? I have to do something. I have to do something. And it's like just putting them near you, carrying them with you, putting them in your car, like at your your work desk, your workspace is enough,
Yeah, just letting it be, letting it give you what it came for. It came to give you this knowledge and energy. You're always absorbing it. So just letting it be, being still with it, it just gives you that space to soak it in.
I love it. And now that, okay, so we've got our crystals, they're placed all over the place, wherever we want them. How often do you recommend clearing them? Do we need to clear the energy often from the crystals or just once we get them home?
I like to do them with the moon. I like to do them like a mass cleansing with the moon, just to keep it clear, keep it positive. But also if it's one that you're really attached to and you say meditate with it a lot, you're allowing it to kind of clear out what you're feeling, working with it a lot, carry it with you a lot. I would do it a little more often, like maybe once a week. If you have like a self-care day, you can kind of incorporate that. I'm clearing my crystals today too. You just want to kind of keep that energy field clear and open.
Love it. That's amazing. What is it about the moon that helps clear the energies of the crystals?
The moon it's based with feminine energy and emotions. The moon is so powerful that it moves the oceans in the world.
Right.
Wow. And I didn't realize this. I've always been kind of drawn to the moon. I just thought it was pretty cool, but I didn't realize it had such a big role in our lives.
Right.
So with those phases and the moon forever changing, and it kind of just helps you remember that it's okay for things to change and to grow and morph, and that energy of allowing things to come and go. I think that really helps with us in life in general.
Okay, yeah, I love that. And how are you using crystals in like your sessions with clients or even when you're working with clients in TaskHuman? Are you using your crystals as well, even virtually?
I keep them with me for sure virtually, just so that I can kind of allow myself to be in that space and be open and understanding to what the client needs. I also do Reiki in person. I have a set of crystals just for clients. And I clear them, cleanse them after each session, and then kind of allow them to pick one if they like. I had a client just last week pick it was clear quartz. She had a clear quartz and held it in her hand during the session. And it just kind of amplifies how you feel. And I love when they reach for one just on their own. They don't even ask what it is. That just shows how open you are and you're ready for that healing. You're ready to try something new and welcome new things in.
I love it. Do you know how long crystal healing has been around and like has been used?
I hear centuries. I always hear different amounts of
Yeah,
time, but you know, we've this nothing on the earth is new. We've
right.
in some form or shape we've used it before, and
Mhm.
it's they've been around forever, and I think they were more kind of more readily available. You can
Yeah,
maybe walk outside and see something versus having a specific cave, and having to
right.
mine it. So I think they were probably more common and used forever, centuries.
Yeah. I was just curious. That's just kind of something I just thought of. I was like, I wonder how long crystals, obviously, they've clearly been around forever from the earth.
Right,
Yeah, it's just interesting how much we have grown and evolved with so many people using them now as this just such an
right.
amazing tool. Have you ever worked with anyone or had any questions where someone was like, "This is a bunch of BS. Like this is just woo woo stuff. Like how does this really work?" What do you say to those people who are like, "I don't know about this. Why it's a rock? Like why am I keeping a rock on my stomach when I'm meditating?" You know?
Right. The rock. I hear that a lot. Like, oh, look at your rocks. I'm like, touch it, hold it. It's not a
Right? Yeah.
rock.
Right.
But
Right.
I try to encourage people to get in the crystal's energy,
Right.
like it's not your, you know, ocean rock that washed up, that just plain
Mhm.
smooth rock, it they all look different. They they perform different. I try to encourage people to just kind of get around, because I can give you the facts on the crystals all day and you'll just tell me, okay, but that rock could be that too. But it's about the feeling. If you're
Right.
open, even if you just say, well, I want to see what it's gonna do, that's an intention to feel something. So if you can
Mhm.
get around it and just, even if you don't touch them, if you're just around them in the store, you'll see how different they are than your average rock, and how different they are from each other. So then that'll kind of
Right.
spark your interest and get you to kind of, okay, now let me touch it now. Let me see what this one does versus this one. Then once you're open, and you'll see the different ways they can help and the different vibrations they give off.
Yes. I love that too. And I think, if someone is asked, if you're out there and you're listening to this and you're like, this is a bunch of woo woo, I don't like crystals or they're just stone or rocks, maybe just try one and
Yeah,
use it in a session with someone on TaskHuman. You call up Simone and get a session with her on TaskHuman and use your crystal and then just see if it resonates with you, you know?
yeah,
Just be open to trying it and feeling it. Yeah.
yes. And then some people, if you're into chakras, if you have any knowledge on chakras, the crystals correlate. So the different colors of the chakra, like the chakra for the heart is green. A lot of the green crystals that you run across will be associated with the heart chakra and love and cultivating self-love and finding a way to love again. The pink ones too, pink to blue for the throat, helping you speak, learning to find your voice. They correlate.
Right.
And
Yeah.
depending on what type of person you are, if you're like, okay, I understand my chakras, but I don't get those crystals, then, I can correlate that with you to make you see that connection.
Yes. And so, just for anyone who doesn't know, we've got seven major energy centers in the body that run up and down the spine from the crown of the head to the base of the spine. Um, and they're each associated, the seven major ones, they're each associated with a color. And so, is it true that, like, so for the root chakra is associated with red? So, like, any type of red crystal would be good for the root, and then like any type of
Mhm.
blue crystal would be good for the throat, green for the heart, etc. So we can make it pretty
Yeah.
simple in that way.
That's
Okay.
actually how I got into crystals. I spoke with an intuitive reader and was told that my solar plexus chakra was out of whack. And I
Okay.
started there, and she's like, get some tiger's eye. And I'm like, what's tiger's eye? And I go to Google and I'm like, oh wow, this one little crystal helps with this. It will help me learn to trust myself and build my confidence back up. And from there, I went to a crystal store, and it just went, the whole chakra system from there. I just picked up everything, and that's where I found that connection.
Okay, I love that because it can be super easy to start because you can just look up like a yellow, because solar plexus is a yellow color. So like, what's a yellow crystal or stone that I can
Mhm.
use? Yeah, it's just so simple. Okay, awesome. Do
Yeah.
you one of the things I wanted to grab, I should have grabbed it before. Hang on, let me grab this book that I've got.
Okay.
I was gonna ask, okay, I was gonna ask if you like recommended anything for people to kind of learn a little bit more. One book that I got is this Crystals for Beginners book, and
Uh-huh.
this is by Karen Fraser. And so for anyone out there that's new to crystals or wants to learn a little bit more, it's very basic, very simple. It doesn't have every single crystal in there, but it's good for your basics. So I've kind of been playing around with this myself, but do you have any other like resources or anything that you would recommend as far as someone being able to dive into learning about crystals? Any books, anything like
I
that?
have a book too. It might be a little too far. It's the Crystal Bible.
Ooh,
Um,
okay.
it's a small one. It's a little small book, but it's really thick. It has it's been around for a while, so I kind of tested it with some of the newer crystals I got, and I look it up and it's in there.
Oh,
It's
wow.
it's in
Okay.
there, and even if it's not maybe that color or like a tourmaline, there's black tourmaline, there's
Right.
green, there's the different varieties. Even if you don't find that specific lady in the book, it will have the main, it might not have green tourmaline, but it'll have tourmaline and give you those general, then you can kind of correlate it to the chakra to see exactly for, depending on the color. But the Crystal Bible is awesome, and it's on Amazon. A lot of
Okay.
spiritual stores have it.
Okay. That's great. I love it. And is there a place that you recommend people buying their crystals? I mean, obviously, like I know here where I am in Nashville, there's a lot of crystal stores now that are really,
Mhm.
really amazing. Is there anything online too? Like I've gone to Etsy before and have purchased some crystals from different places, but do you have a go-to or any that you would recommend in that area?
Um, I I personally prefer to get them in person just so I can
Yeah,
have that experience of having it choose me. But I know
I
a lot
love
of
that.
people, especially now with, COVID, and we're,
Right,
we're not sure about getting out. I know that makes it a little harder, but
right.
I value that connection. I'm here in Las Vegas, and I have
Okay.
probably about 5 stores that I visit for crystals.
I love it. Yes. Yeah, and I'm depending on where you are in the world too, I guess some places might be closed down. So
Yeah.
another like good option, and I guess you could kind of intuit this online too, is just going to like an Etsy shop and seeing if they seeing if you resonate with the woman or the
Yeah.
man who has the crystals and who you might be able to purchase from, reading some reviews. Um I wish I could remember. Okay, here's another question I have because I always forget, like I'll get a crystal and then I'm really bad at like keeping the paper with the crystal, or I always forget. Then I'm like, wait, what is the name of this crystal again? Like I can't remember because like I've got a couple of crystals from this amazing guy on Etsy. I can't think of his name right now, but he had the clearing ones that I use for the television. They're like
Oh.
magnetite. That's what they're called, magnetite. Um,
Uh-huh.
like a magnet, right? And
Yeah.
so now I remember that name. But I do you have like a recommendation? Should we get a journal and like keep a journal of the crystals we get and what their names are?
That's awesome. I'm big on journaling. I have about a million journals in the house, and they're like all for specific things. They're all different. That's an awesome idea because then you can
Yeah.
go back to it. You kind of write like what it looks like. This is the crystal's name. This is what
Yeah.
it looks like. This is how it made me
Okay.
feel when I first got it. You can come
Yes.
back later and see if that changes. That's
I
an
love
awesome
that.
idea.
Yeah. Okay. I know. I'm like, what do I need to do? And then of course I already know what I need to do. It's just a matter of
Right.
doing it.
It's always in us.
I know. Yeah. Now I wanted to ask you too, if do you have any crystal rituals that you use or that you could share with us that are easy for anybody to do?
I use them in my favorite thing is in the bath. I try to
Okay.
give myself a bath. Um, about once a week on my self-care. I try to have a dedicated self-care day. It may change what day it
Yeah.
is throughout the week, but I like to put them on my on the tub, just on the side of the tub. Um, Sometimes, depending on how I feel, I may put them in the water. And it's
Okay.
not a bath, not like a bubble bath, but just maybe a bath with some herbs, like a
Mm,
little rosemary, lavender, essential oils, and I'll just have them with me. Have some candles lit, maybe some
yes.
incense. That's my favorite because that's just a way to allow yourself to be with the crystals, but allow yourself to just kind of relax and let go of your week and let the crystals do their job for you.
I like that. Use them in a bath. Okay, awesome. And then, of course, I have to ask you this. What is your favorite crystal? You may have told us, but I don't think you did. What's your favorite crystal and why?
My favorite, so right now, I kind of brought them with me.
I love
This
it.
is my blue kyanite.
I
This is
love
probably
that.
the biggest one I own. I was in the store and I've never heard of it before, and I couldn't take my eyes off of it. And now when I meditate, I had a period of time where I kind of felt like I was being a little small and I wasn't saying what I needed to say.
Mhm.
And this blue, it goes along with the throat chakra. It
Okay.
helps me kind of speak and say what I really mean, kind
Yeah.
of not hold back. And then I have this charm, which is a moonstone, the moon
Ooh.
again, and it
Yeah.
helps me align with my inner divine feminine, and allows me
Okay.
to stay on track and understand what I'm kind of doing everything for, how that all ties in together.
I
Those
like
are
that
my
you're
two
showing,
favorites.
and I like that you're showing the jewelry too, because it's great to when you go to the store, you'll see like rings and necklaces and such bracelets that are really great to wear on you all the time. And so it doesn't
Yeah,
necessarily just have to be a stone that you're carrying around. You can literally wear it, and
right.
that can be really, really powerful.
Yes,
Awesome.
yes.
Do
I
you
love to
have
keep
any?
them up.
Yeah. Do you have any altars? Like, do you use an altar for your crystals ever?
I have an ancestor altar, and I do keep when I have a spot for abundance, I keep citrine there. I have a
Okay.
ritual where I have an old checkbook and I write out what I want to bring in for the month. And I keep the
Okay.
citrine on top of it because that's a an abundance crystal. So I
Okay.
keep those there. I have amethyst for intuition, so my ancestors can help me listen to myself and listen to the ideas they give me. I have an angel aura quartz on there. I have a couple on my ancestor altar.
I like this. And so that's another thing for everyone out there is just to create a little altar. Just get just a little space, part of a desk or anything that you can just put things on that are special to you and creating an altar in that sense. That's what I like, some candles, just a few crystals, maybe some oracle cards, just whatever. Like there really doesn't have to
Yeah.
be like this right or wrong way to do an altar. Just setting things up that are meaningful for you. But I like that that's kind of another ritual with the citrine. So writing down things that you want to bring in into your
Yes.
life, and then putting the citrine over like that piece of paper or something. If you write on it,
Yes.
or write on that. Oh,
Because
I
I
love
think
that.
words are spells. Words are
Yeah.
spells. If you can write it out, you
Yes.
can do it. It's if you can
Yeah.
write it out, you can see it, it can happen. It's just about time and going through whatever you need to do, the phases to maybe clear out some things that are in your way. But if you can write it down and you can see it, it can happen.
I love it. Yes. Yes. Okay. I'm trying to see if there's anything else I missed that I wanted to talk about. I think we covered everything I had. Is there anything else that you want to share with everyone when it comes to crystals? I think we broke it down pretty nicely with like
Yeah.
the steps on getting the crystals, what to do with them once you have them. What else?
Just be free.
Yeah.
Let yourself let it go. Try not to think so much and let the crystals guide you. Everything you need is within you. And if your body is attracted to something, it's for a reason. So kind of go with the flow and let yourself be led. You'll find out why. It'll reveal itself why.
Yes. Be open and be open to the magic that crystals can bring into your life.
Yes, that's it right there.
Well, thank you so much, Saemone, for joining me today and sharing with everybody all about crystals.
No problem. I'm glad to be here.
Yes, and thank you to all of you for tuning in and listening. And just remember those steps to getting a crystal, and don't overthink it. Just let yourself be guided by the energy, and and be open to seeing what those crystals will invite in for you. Yes, awesome. So that's all for today. Thank you guys again for joining, and I will see you next time on another episode of Task Human Talk.